before we even begin, I want to ask you to give a round of applause to Mason Mills, the filmmaker. I see the first one I'm going to call is just now going, so I'm going to make him wait till the end. But I just told you to salute Mason Mills. Let me call out the director, Mason Mills, who also produced the award-winning national documentary on Governor Wilder, which was entitled Wilder and American First, which the Center for Politics and the Community Idea Station produced a few years ago, and that went national on PBS as well. Where is Mason? Here we go. Here's Mason. Brown, one of the famous Norfolk 17. There he is. Coleman Hose, one of the 23 students, as you saw, to desegregate Orange County. Michael Jones, one of the first students to desegregate schools in Arlington. Donald Martin, along with his brother John, he was one of the 12 to desegregate Charlottesville schools. Way to Charlottesville, they think of themselves as being so liberal. Let's see what happened back in those days. Rita Mosley and Farmville, who had to move to Blacksburg to complete her education because of the lengthy school closures in Farmville. They're all stars of stage and screen now. Their lives will never be the same again. Autographs and all that stuff, charge for them, but give them out for free. And finally, but certainly not least, on the 20th anniversary of his election as governor, His Excellency, the 66th Governor of Virginia, Lawrence Douglas Watts. Wonderful. And now I'm going to actually ask Governor Wilder to lead us off, and I'm going to ask him first, I'm going to ask all of you this, but I'm going to start with Governor Wilder for your reaction to the film, and of course you directly participated, as you told us, in his keynote address to our conference this summer, this past summer at the state capitol, which was ironic, wasn't it, Governor, to have that at the state capitol. Your reaction to the film and your reminiscences of that time and of massive resistance.
Well, first I want to congratulate you and the Center, as well as PBS and Mason Mills for doing something that's absolutely necessary. We have a revisionist tent with us relative to history, and we don't usually tell it as it is. Looking at the film, I saw it in terms of being real, exactly, and telling. I was more impressed in terms of the totality of the film, listening to the students themselves, and listening to how articulate they were, how full of confidence they were, and how there was never the slightest bit of hesitation relative to how they felt. As I watched it, and I was speaking with Ms. Runner who was with me here, and I said, and she said, and I agree, our young kids need to see this film. I thought it was a home run.
Thank you, Governor. I'm glad you did. And I want to turn now to Mason Mills, and he's the one who produced this and spent hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of hours working on it. And Mason, now that you've completed the project, your reaction?
Well, first reaction takes a big group of people to do it. And the biggest group is obviously the students. I mean, to have them be so honest, and when you ask them a question, they were so welcoming. I mean, we were fed most of the time we would go to see people. We were treated so well. They just opened their arms to us. We were so happy to have us come in. Dr. Brown over here made us stay, and you know, it was great. It was, I think it was, that's what made it, is that we went in, we talked for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours with each person. It was just, that's what the big key was, that we were able to have real conversations. Now, the hard part is when you get back and you've got, you know, 21 students that you've interviewed, you have some historians and things like that that you've interviewed, and you're trying to get this down to an hour, and you've had over 25 hours worth of material. That's where a lot of the people in the audience that have helped on this project really come in. It took a lot of time to go through all this stuff. But the big thing was to step back and try not to mess up their stories. You know, to pick some stories and let them tell their story, tell it the way that you felt when you're first listening to it. And I think that was the key for us, is to try to do that and to stay true to what they did.
And Mason, I hope at some point we can post some of the other interviews. So that's the great thing about the web today. You can include everything so that people who are studying this era, and historians 100 years from now, will have the opportunity to see what everyone said at length. So we want to work on that as well. And now let me turn to the heroes who are up here. You're representing, of course, other heroes in the auditorium, but I want to see what you thought as you saw the film. And I think some of you have not seen it before. This was your first opportunity. Dolores, you want to start us out?
Yes, it was my first opportunity seeing film, and I tell you, I was very, deeply touched. It seems as though I wanted to cry, but believe me, those tears, they would have been tears of joy. I was just so elated. And a few times there I said things that were quite comical, and I couldn't help but laugh myself. So I really enjoyed it. I thought, job well done.
Absolutely. That's absolutely true. Faye, what about you?
First, I just want to thank all the workers who made this possible. It was something that I think should have been said and done a long time ago, and I was so very pleased to be a part of this. And it was just so well done. It was remarkable. And I love the way that the people, particularly Mason and all his staff, the way they directed this, to us. It made me feel very much at ease, when we asked questions and things to me.
You said something very important that should have been done a long time ago. There have been a few reminiscences here and there, but fortunately, we didn't let the 50th anniversary get away from us. That golden anniversary gave us the opportunity to look and see the distance. But what really struck me about this film was that even though it was 50 years ago, the emotions are still so raw. And we often think, well, people should have forgotten all about it. They should have gotten over that by now. But it's too much to get over. And also, if you get over it, people learn the lessons. Society doesn't learn the lessons. So it's important, and I hope all of you, by the way, will help to ensure that young people in your localities see this film when it's aired on PBS, and also get the DVD and show it in the classroom. People need to know this.